guys, welcome back to my channel again this week. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Karina, also known as the Artistic Newfie here on YouTube. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is the first time that you've been here. This week we are working on a wood block, a circle, a wooden circle, and I don't know what kind of wood it is. I bought it at Michael's at some point in time when I was there over the summer, and I decided that this week I wanted to put up this video that I've been making for the past month, and it is of a original character of a fairy forest girl, I guess. I don't know who she is. But I wanted to do something that I haven't done in a long time. Way back when, maybe about 5, 10, maybe about 15 years ago, I used to do a lot of toll painting with acrylic. And I kind of wanted to do that again, but I didn't want to do all the traditional toll painting things. And I wanted to do my own character on a wood block. And a lot of people paint acrylics for illustration type work on wooden panels and whatnot. So I thought, hey, this thing's laying around, let's see what I can do. Actually, I don't think I bought this one at Michael's. I did buy a whole lot of wooden blocks at Michael's over the summer, but this one here I believe I did buy when I was living in Manitoba at just a local Walmart. But anyhow, I used to really enjoy painting with acrylic, and then I found watercolors, and I kind of enjoy painting with watercolors more now, even though I was like tremendously scared of using watercolors when I first got them. But I find it hard working with acrylic now, and this piece really showed me that I hate painting details with acrylics. I really enjoy sitting down and painting just the galaxy backgrounds and the clouds and the silhouette trees and things like that. I really enjoy doing that with acrylic, but when it comes to drawing out a picture like I'm doing here, and going in with the acrylic that dries as soon as it touches your paintbrush and trying to put it on the wood and trying to paint and all that fun stuff, it's not fun to me anymore, and I really realized how much I dislike doing this when I was painting this piece. Now, mind you, I did have a few difficulties with the paint sticking to the wood, even though I did gesso it. And there were some places in the painting where it was just so difficult to get the paint to stick. The reference that I did get for this, I started watching a channel on YouTube called Zeke's Lunchbox. If you haven't checked out this lady's work, you really need to go check it out. It is super cool, very colorful, very different. I'll give you that warning, but it is super interesting and super cool. And I was thinking to myself, I really like how she does her characters and the elements that she adds to her painting. So I'm like, I'm going to take some inspiration from her, and I'm going to go and do my own little character like that. This is not a rip-off of her character. This is a picture. I found a reference picture, a couple different pictures on Pinterest, and I kind of put them all together. The only thing that I really took from her paintings, I guess, is the mushrooms coming out of the skin. I thought that was really cool. But other than that, it's pretty much my own creation. I mean, there are people all over YouTube and all over Pinterest that are drawing girls with crystals coming out of their shoulders. So, I mean, it's not like I ripped that off from a particular person. So it's not a new idea by any means. So I don't need to get comments that I'm ripping people off down in the comment section. Not the case. But anyway, I wanted to keep it colorful. I really liked her colorful palette that she normally uses in her paintings, but if you've been following me along for a while now, you also know that I like using vibrant, bright colors as well. So I thought that I would still keep with that theme, but I did make my character look more realistic than, not realistic, I don't know the word that I'm looking for. She makes a lot of characters that have maybe like deformities, or they're doing some wacky thing, or they look different than what you would normally see with a character typed painting, I guess. I hope I'm saying that right. But I wanted to keep my character to how I would normally make my characters. So I just drew this fairy elf, whatever you want to call her, out like I normally would, and I just added some, you know, crystals coming out of the shoulders. I really have been into crystals this past little while. I really enjoy collecting them, so I thought it would be a neat thing to add. And like I said, I really liked how she would make the mushrooms come out of the characters that she made, so I thought that I would go ahead and give that a try as well. I found it was, like I said, it's very difficult for me to paint acrylic, and I don't know what it was. It was like as soon as I picked the acrylic up off of the parchment paper that I'm using here, I don't have a palette for for acrylics because I only use watercolors, so, and I don't need a palette for that because I already have all my watercolors in you know, the little white cases that watercolor things go in. The pans, there you go, pans of watercolor. Oh my goodness, I can't really speak today. And so I'm just using that. So you would think that it would take a little bit for it to dry, but nope. It dries immediately, and it was so hard to work with, and I would have to keep putting more water in the acrylic paint to keep it reactivated, so it didn't dry out, and that created a problem because then I'm using Liquitex Basics, I think that's what it was, Liquitex Basics acrylics, and they're not heavy bodied, and I found that some of them were very, very, I wouldn't say they were transparent like to a really bad extent, but I couldn't layer a light color over a dark color, and when I would like paint with like a yellow or something, you could see the colors underneath, like there was just something off about the paint. Now I use golden acrylics, I'd say for maybe 3 or 4 years, and the heavy body acrylic from Golden is very thick, and it is so nice to work with. It is. It's nice to work with, but again, I stopped using it because I hate the fact that I couldn't work with the paint before it dried. So as I mentioned before, I sold all my Golden acrylics, and over the summer I'm like, let's try to work with acrylic again, and like I had mentioned in a previous video, so I went and bought the 48 pack of Liquitex Basics. I'm pretty sure that's what I don't have it in front of me. I'm in a different room right now recording the voiceover for this video. Anyway, I'm not super happy with the paint. I don't know if maybe the paint separated inside the tube and that's why it's coming out wonky and it's hard to paint with. I don't know, but I know that there are some colors that I am totally not impressed with. And even the purple that I have on the palette here up to the left of the screen, when I would paint that over another color, you could see through it, and it didn't really make sense to me why the acrylic paint is transparent. I guess we might as well just call it transparent because that's what it looks like. Like acrylic paint should be opaque, you know. So I was kind of, if you guys are using the Liquitex Basics and you're having the same problem, let me know, because I'm wondering if maybe I have a bad batch of paint or if that's the way they are, because I don't think they should be that way. Like I said, I had a very hard time. Now when the white went on, it was pretty opaque, but of course it still needed a couple layers of white paint because of what it was. Like the grays and everything was fine. Even the blue wasn't too bad. But like I said, there were certain colors that just didn't work well, and it's kind of baffling to me. I don't know why it happened, but so another thing that took me a ridiculous amount of time for this painting is the hair. I think it took me about 3 hours to paint this because I got so frustrated with it, and I wanted to do a braid coming down the front on the left side of the girl here, and I just could not get it to work. So braids are something that I have to work on, and along with that, I kind of kept messing up. So that didn't help out one bit at all. But I had to cut out, you can see that there's certain places in this video where I'm doing something and then all of a sudden it's finished, or I'm going halfway through and then all of a sudden I'm moving on to something else. It's because this video was over 5.5 hours long, and I had to condense it, and I managed to get it down to 20 minutes, and I still think it's too long, but I could not see how I could make this video any shorter than what it was. So I'm kind of stuck with what I have, and so I hope you guys can bear with me with this video, and I hope you're, at least enjoying watching the process. And you can see here, I just, the hair, that section of the hair is completely done because it was taking me so long, and I didn't want to have the same portion of the video in the video for too long, because I know people tend to get bored when it's the same thing. But the hair was fun to paint overall. Like, it was tedious, but it was still fun to do. My favorite part of the painting that I did was the crystals. I did have some trouble with the mushrooms, and at some point in time here, you're going to see that I did start out and they were like a yellowish orange color because I wanted to keep it bright. But I wasn't liking the yellow and the orange paint. Like I had said, I couldn't paint with them well because it just seemed like the consistency of the paint wasn't right. You could see through them. I couldn't build up any of the color, and when I did, it would just smear around. It's like when you try to paint watercolor on top of acrylic, it just doesn't work. And that kind of felt that seemed to me, it's like what it was doing. Like, it just wouldn't layer. I don't know the technical words. It just wouldn't layer, and it was frustrating. So I scrapped the mushrooms for a little bit and moved on to something else, and then I decided to go back in with a different color, which you'll see here in a little bit. But the back part of the hair, the ponytail portion of the hair, was probably the easiest for me to paint, and I didn't really go by any particular lines. I just kind of went and scribbled with the different colors of paint. I used white and various colors or shades of gray. It's not really colors, I suppose, but and that's what got me the ponytail. I think that the hair, for what it was, turned out fairly decent. And I really wish the shading under the neck, I wish I had made it a bit darker, but I just wanted to keep a nice light complexion, and I didn't even give this character any eye makeup. And I do feel like there's a few things that I could have done better on, I guess. I really wish I did work the eyes just a little bit more. I feel that the lips turned out pretty well, and I do have trouble painting ears, or drawing ears, I should say, and I think the ear turned out fairly decent as well. It's not too bad at all. So here you can see that I went right back in with the mushrooms with a different color. I didn't put in the fact that I was working on these with the orange and yellow paint because it did take a good chunk of the video away, which is what I needed because it's too long to begin with. So I really, like I said, I wasn't liking how the orange was working, and I kind of had a darker look to the fairy or the elf to begin with, so I just wanted to maybe put more of the dark element into it. The background's nice and bright, but I wanted to have a few darker things in the painting. So since I put the ring in her nose a darker color, I figured I would add black in elsewhere, and her eyes were mostly black as well. So I just wanted to carry it around the painting and make sure that it was nice and fluid, I guess. I don't know. I'm really finding it hard to find things to talk about, and I feel like I'm rambling in this video, but I do not want to add music to my video because the last time I did, I got a copyright strike, and it was music that I pulled from YouTube's free library on the YouTube website, and so I got a copy. Well, it wasn't really a copyright strike, but someone put up a copyright claim that I was using their music, and it was supposed to be royalty-free music to begin with. And yeah, so even if I did get a chance to monetize my videos at some point in time, then I would have to give the revenue to that video, or most of the revenue of that video, to the other 3 people that are having copyright claims on the music, and I couldn't. And there was no way that I could contact YouTube about it because they kicked me out of the YouTube partnership program in February because I was 400 hours short for the program, so they will not help me. So it's kind of, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So I'm just leaving it as it is, and I don't know if other people that have a small channel like me are having some issues with that as well, or if I kind of just lucked out on the draw there and it just happened. So, but I do feel that if YouTube is going to be putting music in their on their website for people to use, that maybe they shouldn't allow people to make copyright claims against it, because that just seems a little unfair to me. Anyway, after that, I'm kind of, I really don't want to be adding music to my videos anymore, so you're going to have to listen to me ramble just a little bit, So with that said, there really isn't a whole lot more to the piece here. I just finished painting up the mushrooms. Now, I didn't want the mushrooms to stand out too much because they aren't really the main focus of the painting. And here I am putting in little purple polka dots and shading and everything on the mushrooms. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's really hard to pick up on the video here. But once I did put the varnish on the piece, then you could see the different colors popping in the mushrooms, but unfortunately you can only see it in person, which kind of sucks. So again, it's another one of those things where it is what it is. Overall, I think the piece turned out pretty well. Like I said, there are some things that I think I would have liked to have done different, but I think with the fact that I had so much trouble trying to paint it, I think I did a good job by even finishing it to begin with. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that, even though I had to fight, scream, kick, and everything else along the way to get it done, but it is done. So I will be going to a local craft fair on the 17th of November, and I will be taking all of my pieces there with me, and if they don't sell, they will be going up on my Etsy store the next day on the 18th of November. So if you're interested in any of my work, you can head over to my Etsy shop and see what's left after the craft fair, and maybe there might be something there that you like. I'm sure, being that it's only the third week in November, things should still arrive pretty quickly for Christmas, if you're looking for a nice Christmas gift, or if you just want to buy something for yourself, that's fine too. And if anyone's looking for, express shipping or whatnot, we can work that out as well. So yeah, check my Etsy on the 18th and the 19th of November. It should be up on the 18th. I'll probably get at it right away after I get back from the event, so you can keep an eye out for that as well. I'm still trying to do some live streams. I'm waiting on a new computer to arrive. We did buy my fiance a new computer because his motherboard and his computer crashed, and the one that we got is an Alienware computer, so it's supposed to be really, really good, and I should be able to live stream, so we'll test that out as well, and hopefully get back into live streaming, maybe at least once. I would like to say once a week, but it might end up being like once a month. I don't know, depending on how lucky I get with everything. But that's how things are going anyway. But just so you know as well, if you're still here to the end of the video, thank you so much. I know this is a long video again, but I hope you're enjoying the painting process. Just to let you know, I have been posting about 3 times a week on my channel, and I've been posting a few times a month over on my other channel with just weekly vlogs and whatnot. But this channel, on Tuesdays, I'm attempting to put up a studio vlog every Tuesday. It may not happen every Tuesday, but those will be my scheduled days. Tuesdays will be scheduled for the studio vlogs when I have them available, and Fridays will be continued with traditional work. And if I have any digital work, most likely it will be put up on Sunday evenings. That's the plan, but I'm not going to right out say that this is my new schedule, because I don't know if I'll be able to keep it or not, but that's what I have planned anyway. So Tuesdays will be uploads for studio vlogs, Fridays traditional work, and Sundays will be any digital work that I want to put up. And there may be a video here and there in between of digital work that I want to put up too, if I find myself getting somewhere with that. But we'll see what happens anyway. But that's what I plan on doing right now until I have full-time work. So there should be quite a few videos coming up over the next couple of months, or until I get work anyway, whatever comes first. But at the end of the video here, I just went in with a multi-liner, and I went in and drew in some of the lines. I was trying to go without the line work, and I just wanted to use the colors, but I'm so used to having illustrated work that have very thick line work that I kind of want to bring it in as well. And here I'm going with the messy splotches all over the back. I have to do that. I just found that the background was a little bit too bland, and I wanted to add something else, so the best thing that I could have done is, you know, with what I had, was just to have some splatter in the background just to help fill up some space. Then I went around with the black acrylic paint around the edges to cover up any of the mishaps from going over the top surface, and then I went in to varnish the piece, and I wanted to show what it looked like, you know, the nice clear glossy finish, but the camera didn't pick it up. But again, it is what it is. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed watching the video. I hope it wasn't too long, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below in the comment section. And I'm gone past the video here, so I'm going to let you guys go, and hope you guys are doing well. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.